if we keep moving just for today's session, obviously we're trying to get through a lot in a short period for this, then we're going to go down to the next layer in the pyramid. So we have defined our mission, vision, and goals, and we are now going to see the objectives and then the key results underneath that sit beneath each of those goals that we saw earlier. This is a really good time. I always love using the nested table for this part of any customer's implementation. It's not something we use a lot, but it's something I really enjoy using here because it's such a great way of visualizing the whole piece. But it's certainly a bit busy when you first get into it. So we will break it down a little bit and kind of take this chunk by chunk. But once you understand what this page is giving you, it's essentially giving you a fantastic overview of all of your objectives and goals in a lovely nested table. But again, it is a bit busy when we first get started. It's another good place to use some of the new board functionality as well. So you can get a really nice kind of objectives board going where I've got it broken down, like the columns are by goal. So I can go down any vertical and see everything I'm doing for that, all the objectives for that goal and how they're performing. And I've got kind of key sponsors and ownership across the swim lanes. So I can get, again, you can configure what the 2 dimensions are, but you can get some really nice visuals here as well, just kind of visualizing your objectives broken down across different dimensions. But again, one of my favorite places to use the nested table is here. And we can see that we have each objective. We've got which imperative or goal it links to. It's got an owner. It's got a start date for that objective and an end date. Again, sometimes customers are annualized with this. Sometimes it's multi-year. So you can go with either. And then they have a confidence score and a progress score based on, in this case, the key results beneath that. We can then see how many key results sit below them, in this case, 5. And then using the nested table, we can actually very quickly get to the 5 key results and some key information without having to drill anywhere or drill into each one, which is why I think this nested table can be so powerful here. In order to try and bring this to life a little bit, what we're going to do is we're going to look at this here, which is going to be one of my objectives that is actually underperforming. So we see earlier when I was highlighting it, it's in red because it's actually got a low confidence score. And we're going to drill into that as part of this scenario to try and see why that might have a low confidence score and see if there's something you want to know about it. So we're going to go into a single objective, which we can do from this screen. And when we drill into that, we're going to get a nice dashboard that is focused on each single objective. So the nested table is a great way of consolidating data. And you get a lot on that page and a lot on the real estate. And if you wanted to kind of have an overview without drilling in and out, great way to do it. But if you want to get to a really clear picture of a single objective, then drilling in and using things like the Canvas dashboard here is going to be a great way to do that. Because on here, I can immediately see kind of there's 2 key results at risk. I can see what the key results are. I can see the breakdown by ownership. I can see all the information we've just seen, but in a bit of an easier to consume format because I'm just looking at one single item. It's also a good opportunity to highlight that we can start to use some of the other core functionality that we probably use in projects and programs, also as part of this module by using custom investments. So I can start to bring in concepts like lessons learned to drive continuous improvement, continuous learning, conversations to actually collaborate, and action items for processes and automation within these modules as well. So again, how exactly you use those may differ from customer to customer. The point is that we can use, if we use custom investments and the OKR module to do this, we can use some of these core components alongside the new data points to actually start helping us manage these objectives one by one within the system. And then we've seen how they can roll up across the structure. In this case, I'm going to go just to the next tab where I can get a single list of the key results beneath this objective. Now, objectives and key results out the box is a master sub relationship. So that is what, like people were asking earlier, the objectives is not a sub of the vision. The goals is not a sub of the vision. That's done through the linking. But out the box, objectives and key results is a master sub relationship. So here I'm seeing essentially the 5 sub object items of key results within this single objective. And again, I've used the conditional formatting to show me, to help highlight my watch list in that the ones with a low progress score are the ones that are highlighted in red, and the ones that we're getting close to hopefully realizing are highlighted in green. So the whole conditional formatting piece has really brought some of these views to life for me. They've taken quite busy pages and made them very easy to zero in on the things you want to look at. So I have used those throughout, and I do encourage customers to get into those more if they are relatively new. But they can add a lot of value visually to help guide you through the process. If I go into a single key result, then again, we're going to get a bit more of a logical flow through the data. I can see what it is, what my unit of measure is, what the current value is, the start value was, and the target value I'm aiming to achieve. I can also start utilizing things like the out-the-box to-dos to actually provide a breakdown and kind of see what the items a checklist of items I might have to do to help me achieve this key result. And I can obviously see what the target value is. And in this case, we've got a target value that's been updated over time. So I've got a bit of a commentary against that to kind of show why that target value has been updated and to give context to why we went from 80 to 90 2 months after we set the target. Again, this is something you may or may not do. You may have an annual target. You might have quarterly targets. Some customers have quarterly reviews of this. But you may want to also track, obviously, some of that commentary to help people understand the context of what's happening. And then we have in the final tab, the actual value. Now, obviously, the actual versus the target value is driving the progress at the key result level. The progress at the key result level is driving the progress at the objective level. And the objective progress is helping to drive the goal confidence. So, all these values here are kind of the bread and butter of what's driving up through that hierarchy to actually provide some of that intelligence. Now here, again, I'm capturing actuals value at a sort of bi-monthly basis on this data set. It could be any cadence that you need to capture actuals. The simple thing is we're able to capture multiple line items and we can see what the latest one is. And again, I've added a field here which has been common with customers around the source of those actuals. Is it from, in this case, a survey? We were trying to improve our customer score based on the latest customer surveys in May. This is what our customer score has got up to. Now, this lends itself to this being an area that maybe is being manually updated by the EPMO or the PMO with the strategic components to say this is the latest because it's coming from other sources downstream. Obviously, this is also an area that when we start talking about linking to execution, you may start to drive these actual values in some cases from projects and initiatives and programs that are aiming to deliver this key result. And we'll talk a little bit about that hopefully in the next session around how you can actually start to drive data into here from other Clarity components. This sort of demo set focuses a little bit more around maybe this area being managed by the EPMO or Strategic Management Office or similar to kind of bring all those insights together.